Welcome to Cigar City Radio, episode number 42, the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. I'm your host, Randy Ojeda, and making the magic happen, Mr. Jason Solanas.
How would you answer if I asked you where to put this?
I mean, clearly I would answer 42.
All right. I have nothing further. If you want more Cigar City Radio, you can access our entire episode archive at cigarcitymanagement.com/podcast. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or via RSS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Cigar City Radio. And check out our playlists, including the Cigar City Radio Companion playlist on Spotify.
This episode of Cigar City Radio was recorded at the Blind Tiger in Ybor City. The Blind Tiger is a 1920s speakeasy-style coffee shop serving coffee, tea, vegan pastries, and more, with locations in Ybor City and Seminole Heights. You can check them out at blindtigercafe.com.
This week, we've got a brand new track from LA psych rockers Send Medicine called She Believes in the Devil, the first single from their upcoming full-length record. It's some seriously cosmic psychedelic folk rock, and if you haven't already listened to Send Medicine's debut LP, Scary Aquarius Daughter, or seen their videos for songs like Baby's Coast and Translucent, then you're missing out. So stay tuned through the end of the episode to hear Send Medicine's She Believes in the Devil. Our guest on this episode is Post Animal, a psychedelic rock band from Chicago. The band has gotten a lot of notoriety recently due to the fact that member Joe Keery plays the role of Steve Harrington on Netflix's hit drama Stranger Things. But that's selling the band short, because they're actually a really, really good band. And they were together way before Joe, who was not on this interview due to his shooting schedule, became a Netflix sensation. This interview almost didn't come together, actually, as you'll hear in the episode. We were set for them to come hang with us, but on their way over, they suffered severe van issues. Luckily, those issues were fixed by the real star of the episode, everybody's hero, Pete Toledo. More on Pete Toledo later. Post Animal has a new single out called Special Moment, and you can pick up their debut album, Post Animal Perform the Most Curious Water Activities, on postanimal.bandcamp.com. And also, big thanks to Creative Loafing music editor Ray Roa for joining us on this one and taking part in the conversation. And, because I forgot last week, shout out all around to our broadcast assistant, Michelle, who last week interviewed War on Women and Silverstein for our Warped Tour episode, and I totally forgot to mention her. So thanks, Michelle. You're amazing. We loves you. So here it is, episode number 42. Can Chicago claim you now as their own?
Definitely claim us. We would be honored if Chicago claimed us.
Now, are you? So I used to live in Chicago, and whenever I'd go out of town, I would meet people, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Chicago," and I'm like, "Are you really from Chicago, or like you from Naperville or something? Like, are you guys?"
Yeah. We are both.
None of us
from neither of
Chicago.
the suburbs nor Chicago.
Yeah.
No,
we're all transplants.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we've been there for what, like 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, but
Dalton
right now
probably.
we live in the
in the city.
Yeah, we live in Logan Square.
Yeah, that's literally what I was gonna ask. Do you live in Logan Square? Like everybody was living.
We're almost cool enough to say we live in Humboldt Park, but we're like one house,
one block away.
Yeah,
we're actually
one block away.
house. Yeah, we're one house.
You're one house
away.
away from being in Humboldt Park, and then we
man.
get like the credit of.
We're literally right next door to the Humboldt Apartments. Is what the Humboldt. Yeah,
Sorry, but at least
Humboldt
you're
Ridge, right?
Humboldt
yeah.
Ridge. Yeah,
But at least you're a few steps away from eating great Puerto Rican food. Then.
Oh yeah,
that's a
everywhere.
benefit. Yeah. It's like the last couple years in Chicago, everybody's been moving to like Logan Square and what's the other neighborhood? Pilsen.
Yeah.
Moving out to Pilsen.
Pilsen's cool. Yeah. Yeah, Wicker Park is kind of like Jake's out.
He's out.
Yeah, he's been having coughing fits.
Oh no.
I think he just doesn't want to cough in front of everybody.
That's fine. That's fine.
Too polite.
Too polite to cough on the mic.
Yeah.
These mics don't have cough buttons.
No, we should have. That's
These
something we should
mics smell
invent.
really
Yeah.
good.
So
or at
now that
least
he's
mine
gone, should we
does.
talk about the bad
should
boys
smell
of Danville? Was that
Oh,
a real
yeah.
thing?
Oh
Shit.
yeah,
It's like
That's-
Febreze.
Yeah, that was that's a joke, but at the same time, we are both from Danville, and Danville can be a pretty rowdy place if it wants to be.
Yeah.
Can it really?
It can.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's I mean,
like-
probably for a while, but there's a lot of spillover from Section 8 housing from the south side of Chicago that moves to Danville. And
Yeah.
the
There's,
city of
like,
Danville
poverty
doesn't really
stricken.
help that out too much. So there's a little bit of crime, and but not like,
It's like necessity-based crime. It's just
Yeah.
like poor.
Yeah,
they're,
people
they're really poor
trying to
neighborhoods. There,
Right.
yeah. And it's like it's like Chicago is really segregated. Danville is also pretty segregated. So it's
Yeah.
got that whole like north side, or it's like west side, east side in Danville.
yeah, definitely.
No, and Chicago is like a very,
like
very segregated
Second
city.
or
Yeah.
third most
Yeah.
or something like that.
We're not doing anything to help that either because we all live on the north side.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Yeah.
true. I live
Yeah,
in
but-
Lincoln Square, so
Yeah.
I think you do a lot to go a long way and explain why the way you understand crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Just to say necessity-based crime
Yeah.
displays a
Well,
certain
it's
level
like
of
it's
empathy.
pretty obvious at
for
this day
people
and
that-
age. Yeah, people
lot of
aren't
people
just
don't
like
show.
stealing stuff because they want to be bad. They just like need stuff. You know?
yeah, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we have some more like fun Chicago questions that I want to ask you guys a little later. But we'll dive right into the post animal stuff. So obviously the big headline is the whole Stranger Things
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Joe, who's not here right now.
No.
But but you've been a band since way before then, right?
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
wasn't.
Absolutely,
It
yeah.
was me, Matt, and Jake at first, and that was like back in 2014.
Yeah.
I think. And then Matt worked with Joe at DMK.
So, have you ever been?
yeah.
to
Oh,
DMK
dude.
in Lakeview?
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
I worked there for like 2 years.
Did you really?
with Joe, yeah.
Yeah.
I probably saw you at some point
Yeah,
at
he
DMK.
probably was like, "What's up, guys?"
I
My name's
was
Joe."
all about the shakes of the
Abusive.
month,
Oh yeah,
dude.
dude.
Some
The
killer shakes.
what's your
Dude,
favorite
DMK.
shake?
No,
Good
my
food.
favorite was the cinnamon toast crunch
Dude, that
shake.
shit, can I swear?
Yeah,
That shit's fucking great,
Yes.
dude.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
dude. Oh my god, I love DMK.
Ever in
And the
Chicago,
fish
let's
bar
go.
right next door.
Fish bar is awesome, man.
All
Yeah.
right, I'm definitely gonna take you up on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, hit me up. You have my number.
I will. Oh, that's
But
yeah.
Joe was
cool.
in the band, and Joe and Matt were working there for probably like a solid year before the show came out. Because like he had gone to film the show, and that's when like we kind of started filling in different people to play different instruments while everyone was gone, and we would switch off a lot. And then we played one show in Chicago when the show had already come out, but no one really cared.
No one made
still.
the connection.
Yeah,
But it was like
and
a
then it's,
solid
all of a
turnout.
sudden
Solid show, but
yeah.
then
Yeah, because
the
we were
next
like
show
we were
played.
one of like the local bands that like were starting to like get some headlining dates at venues and stuff like that. So people were already like aware, but then that just kind of like blew everything up.
Yeah.
To where we tried to play a show at our like local neighborhood bar, and it was like just a
Called
complete
Cole's.
shit show.
Yeah, I've
which
never
is
been-
like
Yeah.
it really is a cool spot to play for bands. It's like in the heart of Logan Square, but
It's like a place that's already packed.
it already gets packed on
Yeah.
the weekends, and there's like a line out of the door. And then-
Yeah. I think I remember seeing you guys know Josh Terry from the Red Eye.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Josh.
I think
He's
Josh
great.
was the first person I saw that made the connection, and he wrote something like, "Man, I've seen these guys like a bunch of times live,
Yeah.
and I never like realized that that's the guy from the show."
Yeah, Josh is
Yeah.
really cool, man.
Yeah,
he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
But so did you realize? I mean, when Joe went off to shoot the show, did you realize that like this is going to be a big thing?
I don't think-
he was kind of like
It was like a
I don't know, it's
normal
just a
thing.
show.
It was the biggest thing that he had like gotten, I think, so far. But that show was like viral all last summer. You know,
Yeah.
Like I don't think any of us like
no one. I don't. No
all
one
of
in the,
those actors
the
are
U.S.
celebrities
or
now.
like any market. No one I think knew that it was going to become like the #1 show.
Yeah.
The
a lot
way
of
he-
those Netflix shows kind of like
They can
come and go and
Yeah.
fade away. So.
Yeah.
The way he described it, it sounded really cool. I remember he was saying it was like a mix between like The Goonies and Poltergeist and like
Yeah.
one other one. I forget what it was, but I don't know.
very
He gave us like
tasteful.
a brief rundown of the plot. And it was like, oh,
Yeah.
that
sounds
sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does sound cool.
Yeah, and then he just came back from filming, and we continued on with the band stuff, and then the show came out, and then that was when
And then that's
Oh,
when
that-
everybody realized like, oh, this is it. And
Yeah,
That's
well, that's just like when people stopped coming just to hear our band.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild. And then you guys have been doing some touring, right? I know you were just on the road with Waves.
Yeah. That's Waves
dope.
and Twin Peaks right before Waves.
Started out with
Okay.
Twin Peaks,
Those are
then we
buds.
went directly to Waves, and then we had like a week off, and then we started on the current leg that we're on
Right on.
right now.
Right on. Yeah, those Twin Peaks guys are.
Cadian's like, I'm sure he's legendary in like every city that he goes to.
Oh yeah, everyone.
But like
if
he's
anyone,
legendary at this bar down the street because he was tatting himself up in the green room.
Oh shit!
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
the one that says
Prison
Big Tuna.
test.
Yeah.
about
He was
this.
like, hey man, you want some of these mushrooms? He's talking to the promoter, you know, and his promoter's like, dude, it's Tuesday, you know, you can't do those mushrooms. And then they came back to play a festival, and it was crazy. Like Clay was doing his Clay thing, and
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
people was like, is Clay really that fucked up? And you're like, yeah.
He's
Probably,
possessed.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are
they're
those are
very energetic.
energetic boys, and they have like the best live show I've ever seen. And I'm
Yeah,
glad-
they still kill it.
Glad to have been able to play with them.
Do we get confirmation that they did indeed break the World Series trophy?
I don't think so.
I
don't
think Jack
any of
would be
us
upset
know
if
for
that
sure.
happened. Jack
Okay.
would
Yeah.
cry.
Yeah.
Jack
They,
is
I would
they
die
like
hard for the
Okay.
World Series
they're
trophy.
like die hard. Well, like especially Jack is like a die
I think Jack
hard
and Connor.
like Chicago sports fan.
So,
Yeah. But I hope the trophy's not broken.
I don't think so.
Where did
We
you
didn't-
hear
we didn't-
that?
Yeah, we didn't.
There
hear.
was, so I guess like I think it was Jack that was at the party with their manager. I don't know if it's Sam
Oh, yeah.
McAllister maybe.
Well, I think they were all there. They're talking about with like Theo,
Yeah, and Theo was
Epstein,
spraying the
Bill
and
Murray
then like
was
I think
there.
Eddie Vedder's like in the foreground of the video,
Bill
like
Murray's
randomly.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, next like ESPN's like, oh, the World Series trophy was broken at a Theo Epstein party, and then they got video of Twin Peaks, and I emailed their manager. I was like, hey man, this story's really funny. Does anybody want to talk about this? And he's like, everything that needs to be said's been said.
Dude,
Maybe
I could see that being something they would
He was, like,
really
on
not.
somebody's
Yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like we'd also hear about it too.
Yeah, they didn't tell any of us. We've been living with Katie.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, so you're living with Katie.
yeah.
Yeah,
well,
he's our- he's
When
our
I
new-
interviewed him, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to apply for. I'm getting a new apartment." So it was before they played here in September or something.
He moved in.
Yeah.
Oh, so he lived.
He
yeah,
moved
he lived
in
in.
Spring.
yeah, in like March.
Okay,
He moved in.
Yeah,
No,
he
we
lives
didn't.
like with the whole band. We all live in the same house
Okay.
in Acadian.
right on. Yeah, those guys are really cool. Like
Yeah,
I feel
very
like the
cool.
whole Chicago thing, it's kind of cool because there's like a new generation of awesome Chicago bands
yeah, I was gonna say
that
like
are treating
Twin
people
Peaks
and the
Whitney
other
and-
bands that they're in the scene with age-wise really well.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Chicago just does it better than most cities,
There's
unfortunately.
seriously-
Or
Right now,
other
yeah.
cities, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely lucky to
good.
be to have just stumbled upon the Chicago scene.
Yeah.
I feel like we just tripped into the scene. And we're
Oh,
like, wait,
totally.
Oh, what
Yeah.
are we doing
We're
here?
just
Oh,
fools.
I don't know, man. I don't know if you stumbled upon it because when you talked to Katie and you talked about his dad and his dad was pretty active and you know you guys probably had pretty decent parents and it seems like the way you're raised up there and the way the music scene rears you, you really, if you are going to be an asshole, you're probably not going to fit in too well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
no
I'd
one,
like
no
to
one
think
likes an
so.
asshole, especially not in Chicago. I mean, people. There's like that's like the one thing that's come out of like the whole Stranger Things thing is like when someone is kind of an asshole to us about it, and it's like we can't really say much because it's like giving us all these crazy opportunities, but at the same time, it's just like there's no reason to like I don't know try to tear us down because we've had a band for 2 years and all of a sudden one of the guys like
Yeah,
brings a
did
bunch of
something
attention
else.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other guy has multiple things going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crucify you.
But yeah, people in Chicago are super nice to each other in the music scene.
Yeah.
And on social media, I always see people promoting each other in like a very sincere, natural way. Like somebody, I think Patrick from Lucille Furs just posted a status saying like he thought he like made this brilliant new song, but really it was like the intro to a Max and the Mild Ones song. Stuff like that. Like I just saw that like 5 seconds ago, and like just stuff like that. You see that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of like the Chicago scene. I mean, Chicago as a city in general feels like a small town, even though it's a big city. Like everybody
Exactly.
kind of knows each other, and
Little
everybody.
pockets,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
you run into people all the time.
Yeah, and then the music scene there is like still pretty small, all things considered. You know, so I feel like everybody really supports themselves more than they do in like in LA or New York City. Where
Yeah, it's not like a every man or woman for themselves type of thing. It's like definitely inclusive.
Yeah.
Super inclusive.
But it's cool to see all these bands from Chicago coming out now because, you know, for a while it's been all about hip hop, you know, from drill music and then Chance the Rapper and everything.
Right.
People forget that, like, Chicago also has a really good rock scene, you know?
Yeah.
I think we're witnessing something pretty special. Sorry. I think we're seeing something pretty special right now. It's like, there's like, seems to be a lot of bands that have cropped up in the last 2 or 3 years. And right now it's just so, the scene is crazy. It's just so
also like
active.
The newer hip hop bands and the rock bands, like, I mean, we like are around those guys a lot. Like the scenes aren't like exclusive of each other. You know, there's a lot of shows where, like, I think Twin Peaks opened up for Chance the Rapper at Rock the Vote or whatever they called it at like
Vote to the Polls.
at Millennium Park. So it's like they blend different music genres together all the time in Chicago. That's one of the coolest parts.
Yeah, we opened up for No Name in Indiana.
Yeah.
You guys know No Name?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
she's from Chicago.
No.
She's like,
I think she's coming
great.
she
here.
gets associated with as like the female Chance the Rapper.
Oh,
Okay.
but that's
She
But
got
that's like
featured on a couple
that's
songs.
Yeah, she was on
that's
Acid
not
Rap.
giving her
Yeah.
Okay.
that's not really giving her the credit she's due.
That's what it was. No Name Gypsy. Yeah.
She's
got a very soulful voice.
Got a great band,
Yeah.
too.
incredible.
Yeah, the live
really
show
nice
is
people.
Perfect.
Well, that's what I love about Chance the Rapper is, you know, Chance is great, but the Social Experiment is awesome. Like, I remember those guys
Yeah.
when they were kids these days,
Yeah.
and they were like a killer band then, and then, you know, they joined up with Chance and it became a whole different
Yeah.
different
I
animal.
remember I saw a show in Madison, Wisconsin at the High Noon Saloon where kids these days were headlining and Chance the Rapper was opening.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, I don't know, he must have been like 19 years old or something like that.
I think
And then
already
he just, and then he like put
and
out,
you got his email, right?
I got his email. I wanted to make beats for him.
Yeah, for Chance?
Yeah, he gave me Chance the Rapper at yahoo.com.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go straight to him, right?
yeah, totally.
No, but it's amazing how Chance blew up the way he did, because I remember you know, friends just sending me over 10-Day or whatever, like, you gotta listen to this new rapper from Chicago, and he was cool, and then all of a sudden everybody was talking about him in the city, and they started doing all those shows like for Chicago's high school students, I think it was. But you had to have like a Chicago high school ID to get into the show, and that's when it was like all like the young kids in Chicago were just all about Chance. Yeah, and I feel like that's the model now, that you got to make it in the music industry. You have to get your city behind you.
Dude, that's game changing.
Yeah,
you have to have your city support you, and then you can worry about like maybe other parts of the U.S.
Yeah.
You can maybe worry about outside of the U.S. Chance is prime example of how to lead.
Chance is a legend in Chicago. For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
He just donated like $1 million to the public school system.
He pulls his weight for Chicago.
Yeah,
too.
he really does. And, you know, because he moved, didn't he live with like James Blunt or something for like
James
a
Blake.
summer?
James Blake, yeah.
James Blunt. That would be really
that would be
interesting. Yeah, James Blake. He like lived there for like a summer and then came back to Chicago, which I think is what really endeared him to Chicagoans. Because Chicago, they love you, but then when you leave Chicago, they don't love you anymore.
Yeah,
you know, and you can say that to any. You can ask Derrick Rose how that feels. You know.
Yeah.
No,
go there,
dude. I was. That's when I lived in Chicago. Was the dark years of the Derrick Rose knee saga. You know.
Oh man, just 3 years of
Oh man, I remember getting on the L every day at leaving school and seeing the return billboard, and I'm like, yeah, it's coming, Derrick Rose, the return, and then like
Derrick Rose
gone.
tears 7th MCL in 2 years. Yeah.
Horrible. We were just listening to your new song, Special Moments. It's dope. Like, I really love the psych scene in general. I love the psych pop vibes and all the harmonies.
Oh yeah, thank you.
And you guys have a lot of guitars too.
Yeah.
There are quite a few guitarists.
Is it 3 guitar players?
There's
4
3.
guitar players?
Recording.
On the recording, there's 3 on the recording.
Oh wait,
Well, because you were just playing synth, right?
no, I have a
No, there's
guitar
4.
on there.
Yeah,
There's
during
4.
the chorus, there's 4.
Yeah,
What are you playing?
Like
just
And silent.
just couple notes.
Really?
Yeah. We all did it live.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
You did it live though.
Yeah, we were
The,
right.
I know, I
yeah,
was
the,
right
the
there.
guitar.
Was that live at the house, the haunted house?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
at the haunted house. Yeah.
So I want
I
to
was
ask you
just
about the
like-
leathery hands.
Oh, you gotta ask Big Jake over here.
Oh,
I know you guys were all in the same room. So was somebody
I
like
wasn't
fucking with
actually-
somebody?
Let me
tell you
about
a
the
story.
leathery Hands?
Let me tell you about those leathery hands.
There was no fuckery to be had there.
Yeah.
It was all
it was Grandpa O'Hare. He was
Grandpa O'Hare.
keeping an eye on the rock and roll.
Emily Steinhauer's
Yeah,
grandfather.
and we were just with Emily Steinhauer's dad a couple
We were
days
just with
ago.
Michael
She's been really
Steinhauer.
hooking us up with.
Did he
nice
confirm?
places.
Did he confirm the ghost?
No, well, it was
Oh,
confirmed by the. It's like her mom's side of the
Yeah,
family.
it's the mom's side.
Jean. Shout out to Jean for letting us go to the lake house.
Thank you, Gene
We just like was kind of falling asleep, kind of, you know, your like quasi sleep state where you're coming like out of a dream, and had the first time. It was the first time I've ever had like a tactile experience in a dream where I actually felt the texture and like can remember it. And I was being tugged. It's gonna be hard over the podcast, but like if you lock your fingers, I don't know what you call that, but like if you like lock your fingers with someone and they're kind of like pulling you, maybe like helping you get up.
Okay.
I was being grabbed by an older gentleman, I think, with leathery.
And they were
callous
leathery.
hands. Yeah, very leathery. But
then-
it wasn't ruthless. It was just kind of like an assertive, like wake up or like I'm here kind of thing. It was pretty
And then
crazy.
after that, we
then
woke up and
there's
it
a
was all
tape.
gone.
Yeah,
I think maybe that night,
yeah, it was that night.
or maybe there was like
Or-
there's another next day. There's a thing. Jake like went upstairs to that same room, and I was about to go up the stairs, and so when I went up the stairs, he was like, "Did you just close the door on me to try and scare me?" And I was like, "No, all right, dude, I've been downstairs. I just came up." And he's like, "No, you didn't." The door just got shut on him by the same grandpa, and then that night, which was the next day after the leather hands incident, me, Wes, and Jake were all in the same room because we were kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, there's a sturdy nightstand in between the beds with a pretty big lamp on.
Wes is tucked into the blankets. His
Yeah.
arms are underneath the
We're
blankets.
we're all asleep, and we all like wake up to this pretty sudden crash, and the nightstand was on the ground and the lamp was tipped over.
And he's
next
still
to Wes, and Wes
is
is under the. Yeah, he just look. It's like
And Wes was just like, "What was that?" And Jake's like, "Did you do that?" And Wes is like, "What?" You know, like everyone's just passed out. But this probably like 40-pound nightstand lamp combo is just tipped over on the ground.
Yeah.
And then
Damn.
And then there's weird stuff on the recordings too.
Yeah, there's weird stuff on the
reverse-
recordings.
cymbal hits, like
Yeah.
it's like like I don't know, like
Yeah.
weird. Like I
Stuff
can't.
that wasn't
I
intentional, or like
No.
Yeah.
Did you record
Well,
digital or
stuff that's
analog?
like,
or?
like
There's-
before I had put a single effect on anything, there were already like reverse symbols on the recording. So I mean, it could be something on my computer, but that's
Yeah,
just
it's
really
digital.
weird.
Right,
too, so
right.
It's,
It's
not
like
like
digital
some dust
recordings.
on the tape or anything like
Yeah.
that.
So are these the songs that are supposed to come out on the Gators Are Back in 3D? Is that what you guys?
Yeah, that was the original
We
like
decided
idea
to-
behind it. Now it's called When I Think of You in a Castle.
Is there a label home for that? Any plans for that record?
We're
Figuring it out.
yeah,
Okay.
we're figuring
Yeah.
it out.
We're
Yeah.
seeing.
Moving,
You're having those label discussions,
trying to.
trying
yeah.
to.
We're just we're open to anything, but we're not quite ready to put it out as it is anyway. So we're just kind of like slowly trying to feel out the.
Yeah.
the
Are there any
world.
cool like Chicago-based labels that are doing some cool stuff? I don't know.
I'm sure there are.
But it's kind of
And
they're
it's,
not.
yeah, we released
directly
everything independently
active,
so
I
far.
feel.
Yeah.
Drag City. I
Drag
think
City is like
Chicago,
the
but-
one I can think of, but they also are
It's-
based in like other cities. Are they
Trouble
LA
in
or-
Mind. Trouble in Mind is from Chicago. It's like a psych rock label.
Oh yeah.
But it's a little more like, I don't want to like, I'm not talking anything bad about it, but I think they're a little more like nostalgic psychedelia rather than like the whole like kind of like Tame Impala, King Gizzard, Pond type stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
nothing that's like quite like a, because you don't want to like, I don't know, I think all of us have like a really good feeling from doing everything super independently. So we're not really like super interested in a label unless it's just gonna like be an obvious benefit, you know?
Right.
Right.
It just seems like the right.
And you're more focused at just making a great record
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
And we're like making the
record-
records for free.
Yeah, the record's like it's gonna be all done the same exact way, no matter if we have a label or not. It's just kind of like figuring out the distribution and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Alan is doing the mastering, right? Or
Adam, Dalton and Adam
Yeah,
okay.
collaboratively. He's awesome. He was the old keyboard player in Javi's old band Dolores.
Okay, and he's got a cave. You call it the mastering cave.
Yeah. I think he's got a room in his place in Eugene,
Okay,
and he just
It's a really nice.
locks away.
It's legit setup.
It's off work and it says like any more notes before I dive in. I'm gonna dive in for a few hours.
He needs
you know?
notes.
Made a pot of coffee, gonna be going for about 4 hours. I'll send you something tonight. He's that kind of guy.
and he's like totally the dude you trust with your songs.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
he's like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got like he's like a great musician, but then he's also just got like the scientific mind for like digital recordings. You know?
He's got good taste.
He
too.
understands like phase and like panning and all that shit to a way higher degree than I do.
That's rad.
Yeah, that's super dope.
That's such a gift
Oh yeah,
to have somebody
man.
that you trust to give your music to.
Yeah.
when it's done.
Invaluable.
Yeah.
I know.
Damn,
Just
you
like
guys
a
are like you got
second
made. Like in a really good
Made in the
place,
shade,
right?
man.
Well,
We'll
like you're in a
see.
really good
see
place.
once
Like
the record
yeah,
actually
yeah,
comes
yeah.
out. if
Like,
it's any
We haven't
good.
asked him about the bus yet.
oh yeah, we were gonna ask. Is it still Shannon, right?
Shannon.
Yeah.
Why are you still driving her around?
Oh,
She's-
because
she's good.
a
She's a
killer.
sweetheart. Yeah.
A to B,
She's
man.
great.
A to B, just occasionally an
We've
ignition
been, like-
coil will
She
fail.
just
Yeah.
doesn't like being
Yeah.
in the
The
South,
ignition
man.
coil,
She just
yeah.
breaks down in the South.
She's
just
not,
got-
She's not happy here.
That's why
She's
we
a northern
pushed back
gal.
the thing today. We
Yeah.
just got the major issue that needed to be resolved. So it should
Yeah.
be driving.
The
fine
fuel
for
tank
a
was
while.
about
I mean-
to fall off, and we were all gonna explode.
But here's the thing about
So
Shannon.
bad.
Before you write her off and tell us we need a new van, we brought this thing when we had
Right
to
her
push
off
this
into the
thing
sunset.
up this highway hill. We had to all get out and push it up to this like repair
What kind
shop.
of van is this? So we can paint
It's
the
a
picture.
15 passenger.
Dodge Ram 3500 2002 V6.
It's like the really heavy one.
He's got it.
But yeah, it's like we got it to the nearest repair shop when it broke down at first, and it was a really small thing. And then these people, I won't name the repair shop or anything, but they actually like broke a lot of stuff in the van trying to fix it. So Shannon's not a bad van. She just got a
She
bad
got tampered
doctor's
with.
visit.
Just to
Yeah,
give
she
you
had a
a
bad experience.
Yeah, and
give you a hint.
Yeah.
We were in the birthplace of Elvis Presley in Mississippi. There's a town.
You know who you are. You
They were
remember
nice.
these
They
people.
were, they were
They're
nice
probably
as hell.
not listening
They
to this
stayed
podcast.
late. Yeah.
It's just, they're
Yeah.
probably not our demographic.
They stayed late and they worked really hard, but they did mess some
Did
things
not
up.
fix it and hurt it more.
Yeah, it was.
But Oliver can be named. Oliver fixed it on a Sunday.
He
For, like-
he figured out that it was the ignition coil, and these people thought it was the fuel pump. Hence our gas tank being
Like broken.
broken and strapped on by these what are they, wrench straps.
Kind of
over there.
like strap lock things that you just pull torque onto. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, it should hold it up. And then
and turns out it's like sideways,
find out
and
today
they're
that
like,
they didn't put it in right. And
about to drop off and explode.
Yeah,
it
'cause
hurt many people.
I forgot who it was that called me earlier today. First, was it Jake?
Right,
Was it
Jake.
Jake?
Yeah.
I think you called me and you're like, "Yeah, we're having an issue where the van might explode, and just a safety thing. We might need to push back the pocket." I was like, "Yeah, like go fix your van, man." Like, I was like, I don't want you guys to blow up on the way here, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah, we
we
were
made
supposed
it,
to
man.
interview,
We're
but
here,
they
yeah.
bailed on
Made it.
us. They exploded. Yeah.
yeah, that would be the most creative excuse that I'd heard
Yeah.
for not being on the podcast. Van explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really argue that one.
Yeah, but it's all fixed as of today. We're back
As of
on
today,
track.
we're like
Yeah.
100%.
Shout out to you went to Town and Country to Lenny's.
Lenny, man.
Lenny
On
on
the
Awesome.
suggestion
Of
Pete
Pete
Toledo.
Pete
Pete
Toledo.
Toledo, really? Pete Toledo?
Uncle Pete.
Toledo.
Oh my God, Uncle Pete's
Hey,
like I know. He used to coach me in baseball.
Oh, you actually
He did, actually.
Yeah, I know Pete Toledo. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He was my
Wes's
baseball
uncle.
coach in Little League.
Wes's uncle.
No
joking?
way, really?
His son
No,
Tommy.
I'm
messing
not
with us?
joking. Like
He is a
I'm gonna
baseball
pull up-
coach.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gonna
is-
pull up
he
Pete
is
Toledo
a-
on Facebook
a
right
baseball
now.
coach.
Do you know his son
Pete Toledo
Tommy?
Facebook a thing about the van earlier, right?
Oh yeah, Pete Toledo, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah, bullshit. Shout out Pete Toledo.
Hold on, is he at the show?
Oh,
He's going.
Oh,
Yeah,
Coming to the
he's
show?
coming to the show.
Dude.
With a bunch of
No way.
Have a drink.
Oh man, no, I haven't seen Pete Toledo in ages. Man.
Do you know
Are they
his
gonna
son,
remember you,
Tommy?
though?
Yeah, Tommy and
He's
Danny.
coming on it too.
Really?
Apparently,
Oh my
Wes
gosh.
said that Tom is gonna have some fun with us tonight. Let's get a couple craft beers going.
So Wes is Pete's
A couple craft
Pete's nephew,
beers.
like for
Yeah.
real. It's he's
Yeah.
not just Uncle Pete, just because everyone calls him Uncle
No,
Pete.
yeah.
No, his
yeah.
dad David is Pete's younger brother.
brother.
What a small world, man.
Yeah.
that's
pretty
so
crazy.
weird.
Yeah.
And here I thought the weirdest thing that I was going to hear today was that you guys actually opened for one of the bands that we managed like 2 years ago at Reggie's. This
Oh,
band
really?
Called the Fantastic Plastics.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a shirt.
Yeah.
yeah.
We had a
And-
ball in time at that show.
Dude, they're the best.
That was like
Max,
Devo. That was
right?
like,
Yeah, they were
like
Tossies.
Devo.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're on Warped Tour right now. They're actually they're in
really?
Orlando and they're going to
Nice.
be here in Tampa tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah,
So-
they were really nice
Yeah.
people too.
Yeah, and I was like, that's probably the weirdest coincidence that we'll have. But this Pete Toledo
They're
thing
from
just blew my mind,
they're
man.
from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, they're from Brooklyn. They actually just moved back because they're originally from Peoria, Illinois, and they just
really?
moved back to Peoria.
His pedal board wasn't working, so he just went in direct and just like rocked it. So
Yeah, you
hard.
just-
he
just
rocks
shredding.
Like-
and I don't even know how they do it because they've been, Warped Tour. They do a show and then they're driving like 8-10. I mean, you guys know how it is, but Warped Tour is such a like you have to
Big
check in at 10 a.m.
markets that are like-
Yeah. And you have to check in at like 10 a.m. You don't every day they change the time that you're actually performing. So like one day you're up at 2, another day you're up at 6 or 8 or whatever. So they have to spend all day doing the Warped Tour stuff. And then Tyson still just like kills it on the guitar, just rocking on stage, like jumping around, so much energy.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know how you guys do it. Like I know everybody's got caffeine in their hands.
Yeah, this is my third.
Oh, we had a late night
Yeah.
last night.
We had about 3 hours
Last
of
night
sleep last night.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
But pretty much the last like 5 nights we've been up till at least like 4 a.m.
Last night was
been later.
extreme, dude.
Yeah.
We've had
Yeah,
some
not
later
even
shows
not
in
even
the
like
South.
going too crazy, just
Yeah.
like by
I mean, we've been having
circumstance.
more fun than usual too. I'd
Yeah,
say.
we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Florida's pretty
Most of
damn
my
fun.
shows in the up until like we started doing North Carolina down to Florida, those have all been super late.
Yeah.
But before that, we'd get done by like midnight
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
nice.
And
I feel
now
like-
it's like 2, 3
Yeah.
before we leave, and we're like,
Oh.
what the hell? Where did the time go?
Yeah, by the time everybody leaves.
What's that?
But-
How long's your set?
It's like 40,
45.
Yeah, we're not playing for very long. You're just
Yeah.
like things are
Things
are
get pushed
late.
back. and-
Things are late, and then you just like kind of hang out after the show. Then you gotta drive an hour, and you look at the clock when you're ready to go, and it's 3:30, and you realize you don't get back till 4:30. Then you get back, and you're
Michael
hungry.
Steinhauer's
yeah,
ready
Michael
to go.
Steinhauer's just like
Got a bunch of hot
He's got
dogs.
Patron,
Patron,
hot
he's
dogs,
got brownies.
He's got wieners.
He's got a
cooked
pool.
up, dude,
Yeah.
and,
this pool that's like the same
Potato
temperature as
salad.
the air, so
Oh.
it feels like a sensory deprivation pool. It's great.
oh
You
man.
have like an
And
inflatable
he'll
pool?
he'll cut
It's
the
a-
lights.
in the
and-
ground.
It's a real
This is
pool.
how they do it in
Yeah.
Yo, hold
Boynton
on.
Beach.
Is it gonna be
Slide.
set up tonight at New World?
Oh,
I
no.
wish.
Yes.
I wish.
I wish.
This is in Boynton Beach, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's where we were
Right
staying the
south of
last 2
Miami.
nights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Dude,
you
if-
guys are having a really good time then.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's got this rotating light in the pool that Matt and Jake, anytime the light would go to red, they would attack each other. We've been having
Say it
some
was
pretty
fun while it
silly
lasted.
nights.
It was fun. And then not using it. Full disclosure, I was really high on a pot. I was tweaking.
Yeah,
It's
we've
really
been
fun.
having fun. It's been fun. It's been really fun.
Oh, it has been fun.
But you're on tour. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
We're like at the delirious
Such a distinct
stage.
like flavor. Like if you,
Yeah.
you know, we don't get a chance to like go out really on the time, but the times we do get to revel. Like Florida's been great.
Florida's been real fun.
Everyone's
yeah.
real nice and fun.
And we even had
Everybody's
the
definitely
van
weird here.
breakdown, and it wasn't even that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
broke down 2 nights ago.
It's been nice and easy. Good shows too.
I'm still processing the Pete Toledo thing. Like
Yeah.
I love Pete Toledo.
Like he still got
shell
Pete
shock.
Toledo
Yeah.
up on his phone.
No, I'm like
Yeah,
texting him now. Like, yeah.
Can you do an impression
Yeah.
of him real quick? I can try if you try.
I don't know if I want to.
Do it.
See, I haven't seen him in so long, man. It's
He's
like,
Dude, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Come on.
Fantastic, bro. Dude, go get yourself a Cuban sandwich. It's down there. Just walk in. It's just a walk in, dude. I'm telling you, man.
just gonna be 10, 15 minutes.
I can't top that. I cannot top that.
And then David is the exact. They are like just the same person. Pete and David Toledo.
They're like two of the most helpful people. For
Miami
us.
guys.
Yeah.
They got us.
They get stuff
They
done.
got us the part for the van. The strap. They called around at scrap yards. Like
That's so
it's
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really are good people.
Super good people.
Yeah. Well, Ray, you got any more questions?
Dude, I don't know. It's kind of hard to top like Pete Toledo. Like this has been so real. Like any like journalistic questions about your album or like your recording process feel completely
Goes out the window.
As
Out the
interested
window
as
with
I
Pete
was
Toledo.
like watching all the video interviews, it's just like it is refreshing to see. Like, because you guys are just like super tight friends, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can tell,
Yeah.
and you've said you'd rather add people to the band than get rid of anybody.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely, man.
And so it's just kind of like really refreshing to see people make music without pretense. Like,
Hell yeah, dude.
it's like a really, like, I get a lot of music, and you probably do too, every day, and it all comes in different forms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I wish every band was a little bit like this, or at least I got to try to know every band like this, because I would be less jaded about music. And I don't mean to be jaded sometimes, but it's like when you get so much, but it's crazy to sit in front of you guys. I mean, what is like the average age? It's like 23, 24.
Yeah.
And for people to just be friends like with each other, it's wild. But it's so normal for your scene. Like, when you see like the Twin Peaks. No, not in here. It's always a good time here, but I'm getting like press emails and like, you know, like
It's just nice to see that a band is genuine, you know?
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And your music is right there. I mean, you know what I mean?
Thanks,
Like,
man.
Yeah.
we know what you
appreciate
like
it.
when we listen to your music,
Yeah.
and then you know we know what you're trying to do, and it's really cool to hear about your mastering story and just I don't know.
And that
it's
you
just-
guys are all working on it together independently is cool.
is that like
Yeah.
full time for you guys' music?
now it
I mean,
is.
yeah, right now it is.
Yeah,
We all left our jobs back in like April. To
Yeah,
do
right
this.
before we
We're all
went
like
to
on a
it.
leave. We have like a bridge to go
Right.
back to.
There might
in
be
August.
some more
Definitely.
work of
Yeah.
that
We're
nature
all
in our
pretty
future.
broke.
But more touring, you think, or more recording?
I think we're gonna record again.
Like, how bad you want to finish that record?
Oh, the
Well,
record.
the record is
Oh.
the record
Yeah,
is
yeah,
done.
it's done.
yeah.
Nice.
The record is like we already went back and forth with the guy Adam, and we came to like a digital master, at least like something good enough to put on like SoundCloud to show to people, you know.
So yeah, we've been you know,
Yeah, but we definitely have like
we've been
new
dreaming up a
ideas.
new idea
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll stay
So
under
that's, like,
wraps.
yeah.
but
That's the
we're
thing
gonna-
people don't realize when you're in a band is like it takes so long
Oh,
to
yeah.
really get a project out that by the time it's
Yeah.
out, you're sick of it. Like you're ready to
Yeah,
move on
yeah.
to the next
Totally.
project.
Well,
My
also,
heads are
we had recorded
in
it.
outer space.
yeah. We recorded the album and like the ideas for the album before we realized what kind of effect like Joe being in the show would have. But then we mixed it after we realized it. So like kind of like self-conscious about it for a really long time. Like, oh shit, there's gonna be way more people listening to it this time around.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we do it right. So that's why it took so long, really. Because we recorded it. It was like a kind of like bogus equipment. I don't know how to like engineer shit
Makeshift.
very well.
It's
you
got
know?
charm though.
It's like
Hey,
it's out of faith.
you
Yeah,
gotta
it's
learn
got like
until
that
you figure it
lo-fi
out,
charm
yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. After hearing the haunted house story, I just want to hear the record.
Yeah. I know. It's gonna have
It's
a lot
pretty
of fucked up
spooky.
sounds.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's just some spooky moments.
It's
to it.
like a, headphone type record where you gotta really pay attention to everything.
It kind
going
of
on.
it's
I think
pretty
it
like
dips in and out of that
minimalistic.
sort of
Yeah.
cerebral stuff. But
We
yeah.
tried to make it closer because like the one thing we hear a lot is that our live set is a lot different than our recordings. So we
Okay.
try to make the newer album a lot more close to live stuff. We did the guitars, like all these guys were playing their guitar parts at the same time. We set up like close mics and then a room mic and try to like capture more of a performance than like a DI kind of thing.
But you guys like live to play live. I mean, I think.
Oh yeah, that's the
you're-
best.
I think
Yeah.
that's the most fulfilling is if you can get a good set together and people like it. Yeah.
So the live set's always going to evolve no matter what the record sounds like.
Yeah,
totally.
our,
Because we
there's-
jam stuff
our live
out all the
set is
time,
like
yeah.
so
Yeah, it's
different
way
from the
different.
recordings we
Yeah.
have online. And some people, I'm not sure if that like always is a good thing for some people, but we like it. I mean, it would be
Yeah.
boring. I think it'd be boring to just try and play things exactly how they sound on the recordings. Like,
Yeah.
we love mashing songs together and like making them really
Making 'em
heavy,
really heavy
even
and
if they don't
riffy.
have a heavy part in them. Like add
Yeah.
something. So we try and do all that, but
You guys feel like you're like from a different era. I know you got like ELO, Black Sabbath, and then you like some contemporary stuff like
I
Tame
feel
Impala and
I feel pretty 2017. I feel
I love
cyborg.
I love my smartphone, my gaming
Yeah.
pigeon,
Okay.
my
We're in
finger
tune.
spinner.
Yeah.
a fidget spinner.
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, it rusted in my pocket because I sweat in these pants so much.
Oh, dude,
That's
Florida's
that's
been
horrible.
hot. Florida's a hot place.
Dude,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
been out of control.
Yeah, well, it's like here in Florida, we stay inside in the summer and we go out in the winter. And
Yeah,
in
oh,
Chicago,
yeah.
it's the opposite. You
Yeah.
know, you go out all summer and party, and then in the winter you hide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
In the winter, you hide and drink.
yeah. There's you can't throw a brick in Chicago without hitting a bar. There's a
Yeah.
bar on every
Yes.
corner,
Right.
the
A lot of
old
bars.
style pubs.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask you some quick Chicago
Yeah.
questions. So
Yes.
just first thing that comes to mind.
Rapid fire.
We'll do a couple either ors. Obviously, Cubs or Sox.
Cubs.
Cubbies.
All right,
Yeah.
good to hear. Deep dish or thin crust?
Ooh,
I'm
debatable.
thin, but Illuminati's.
Illuminati's is
Thank
probably
you.
the best.
I'm glad you didn't say Giordano's.
Yeah.
No,
I do,
Yeah.
my real favorite
Pequods.
deep quiz is
Pequods is really
Pequods.
good.
Deep discus Pequods. That's what I just said. But I am a fan of square cut thin pizza as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Matt, when we lived in Danville, both
Monocles?
worked at kind of like pizzeria
Oh,
type
dude,
places.
Fazoli's and
So we're
Jocko's.
Jocko's,
we've
dude.
got like the thin crust.
Fazoli's is a
party-
nationwide
party
chain.
cut style pizza. That's what's really in our heart.
Yeah,
I got butterfly shrimp at Jocko's.
And the gardens.
Yeah, it's pre-packaged, you know.
It's pretty much frozen, then they drop it in a fryer.
Like Tyson's fried shrimp.
Oh, no.
And they sell it for $7.
on it.
A little lemon and parsley on the
Give
side.
it to you on this plate.
Oh,
It's
it's
got like
good.
stains on it.
It's good. That Jocko's hat.
I love
Oh, yeah,
Jocko's.
yeah.
So can you put ketchup on a hot dog?
You can do whatever you want.
can absolutely do that, but-
Hey, that's you guys are Chicago transplants. You're not.
Yeah,
from-
yeah.
Chicago
That's
dog,
what
I wouldn't add anything to a
I
Chicago
prefer
dog.
Yeah,
to put
I mean-
mustard on it with like relish, but if
Yeah,
you really
that
want
stuff's
to
good.
put
I
ketchup on
don't
it,
put ketchup
that's
on
cool.
anything. But
Okay.
if you want to put ketchup on your dog, you can do whatever you want. You gotta have a ball.
But there's
a lot
probably
of
going to
people
be
in
some people
Chicago
that are all
you
like,
only live once.
Yeah.
like punks about it.
I've
But
seen
also,
some Chicago people put ketchup on their dogs before.
Okay.
They're just trying to be.
but then again, they're
exclusive.
from Naperville. So.
Yeah, exactly.
like
They're from the
yeah,
suburbs.
exactly.
That one. So if you're in Chicago for one day, you can have one meal in Chicago. Where do you eat?
Ooh, man.
Let me think about that.
Rico
Dude.
Fresh.
Sultans.
Yeah,
Sultan's
Sultan's. There's some
Oyster.
spots, man.
Yeah, Oyster is great.
Sultans.
Sultans
That's
is
Parsons.
Oh, okay.
Parsons is
Parsons is great.
one of those that's up there real hot. In the fall,
My favorite restaurant.
getting breakfast at Parsons, they do breakfast in
Bar
the fall,
don't-
right?
There's
Bar don't
too many
change.
restaurants. I would have to skip going to Chicago for one day because I couldn't decide.
You couldn't decide.
I would,
Yeah.
I would have to have
It's-
someone decide.
It's like
for me.
Sophie's Choice. Yeah, I get
There's
it.
some good food, and it's like delivery.
I'd probably
High
eat some
Lagoons
ramen,
is really
maybe.
good delivery place.
Oyster would be
Go to
great.
Oyster, man.
Taco
Yeah.
Velos. Dude.
Taco Bell.
Jaimitos burritos and Amados, they're right around the corner from each other. That's in Lincoln Park too. So it's
Yeah.
like
I
that's some
mean,
north
those is
side
great,
stuff.
dude.
So
Ooh.
basically, you'll be eating a lot of food if you're in Chicago.
It
Yeah.
probably would have to just
Just
skip
Yeah,
the challenge.
you just like
eat 'em
walk
all
down the
flesh.
Go
street,
get the-
walk past
yeah.
Tony's or something, just grab something real quick.
Sultans is probably. I haven't had more of anything.
That's
Or I haven't had
Yeah.
more. Yeah, I've had the
a good
most
spot.
Sultans out of any,
a really
any
good
spot,
spot.
in Chicago. It's so cheap and you get a lot of food.
Just falafel wrap or chicken shawarma.
And it's something about like a restaurant being cash only that feels good.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So,
it feels right.
Yeah.
it's so saucy. The
like a-
falafel is
yeah.
like so,
Oh, nice.
and the shawarma is like so saucy.
What I miss about
You
Chicago
have
is
the-
all the BYOB spots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
My favorite
man.
Thai restaurant right
Bunch
by
of,
my
like,
house,
Thai and
BYOB.
sushi places, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, dude.
And then there was a liquor store next to it, so it was easy to just pop in.
The best thing,
Yeah.
one of my favorite.
Where did
like,
you live?
I lived in Lincoln Square, like right off the Western Brown
You
Line
know
stop.
exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
You get like a half acre beer, and then you go to a
Dude.
sushi spot,
Yeah.
and then you're solid.
That's the
Get a
place
half
over there.
acre.
We used to
Half
live
acre?
off.
Yeah, the half acre is like
Chicago.
right by my
Is that a
house.
craft
We
beer?
lived at Ashland.
Craft beer.
Yeah, I know.
Is that what Coach
Craft.
Some nice craft beers at a half acre brewery.
Yeah, I'm wearing the Goose Island hat now. So.
Yeah, those are like
But-
Twin Peaks, Goose Island.
Twin Peaks
they
beer.
just did
They got a
it.
beer
Did they
now?
really?
That's
No,
cool.
they just like
They did one for Pitchfork. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a garage.
That's
They
really
called it
cool.
a garage
They just did like a
lager.
little like
Natural Villain.
Natural Villain.
Yeah.
It was good. I had the beer.
It was really good.
little lager.
I liked that a lot. Yeah, it was kind of like a summery, kind of
Yeah, like a
it was like a
Tecate or
Tecate,
something.
but it was like a kind of a fancy Tecate. Super good.
I think just Tecate, just saying the word is fancy.
Tecate.
Tecate.
One time,
Tecate with the lime,
Tecate.
dude.
one time when
the best thing.
me and Dalton's first apartment, we were all drinking Tecates out on the
yeah.
front stoop. We didn't really have a stoop, so we were sitting on the sidewalk, and this bicycle cop came over and said, "Tecate gang, what's up? What are you doing?"
Wait, was that that World Cup day?
Yeah, I think
Dude.
it was. And he was
Oh,
like, "Yeah, you can't be
no.
drinking on the street. You guys all 21?" We were like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "All right, just take it inside." He's actually really cool about
Yeah,
it.
he was good. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Officer
I got a
Tecate.
ticket for drinking a beer on my stoop one time.
Oh yeah. That was
My
Boys,
own
That was
stoop.
Boys Town though.
Oh.
They're
Yeah,
a little bit rougher over there.
In Boys Town?
We used to
We
live
used to
on
live in Boys
Halstead.
Town.
and
Oh,
Boys Town.
yeah.
Yeah, Halstead and Addison.
That's the heart of Boys Town.
Yeah.
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 It was really cool living over there actually.
Good spot.
Yeah, it is.
Cool, but it's popping every
Oh, yeah.
Was that was when
Sun-
you were working at DMK?
Yeah, I walked
that's
to work
right
in like
there.
20
Sundays
minutes.
and pop.
Yeah, nice.
That's when we like
You were
we were doing our very first EP. It's like
yeah, that was
activities.
water activities days. I was at Uncle Sammy's. You were at
I was at Best Buy.
always at Best Buy.
Yeah.
So two more Chicago questions.
Let's do it.
I might know this. I might know the answer to this one, judging from where you live now. But red line or blue line?
Blue line.
We
Oh wait!
Started out
Are we
our
talking
careers
about
on
like
the blue
the
line.
quality of the train?
Just
or
Yeah.
how does it?
I
think-
prefer riding the red line.
You
to
prefer to be
riding
on the red
because
line.
the blue line's
red
loud
line,
as fuck.
Yeah. The
And
red line
crashes
needs a lot more attention.
I like the blue line more because it hits. I used to go to UIC. I would take the blue line over anything
Yeah.
else.
One
Like, to
time,
go-
Matt.
Yeah.
We lived off the red line. Matt was at a party at UIC. And between UIC and Jackson, where you would switch to the red line on the
no.
blue line, he had
fell
fallen asleep
asleep.
and woke
Ended up at O'Hare.
O'Hare.
Guys like,
Yeah.
hey man,
Call
just get
me.
on the other train and go back. Yeah, you got to get off on this one, but you can get on the other one if you want.
Yeah.
That's because I've
No
taken that
bueno.
train to O'Hare a lot, and that is a
it's a long
haul.
ride.
Oh, that's like an
Yeah.
hour, man.
At
yeah.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
totally.
man. And then you got to get back from O'Hare, and it's
I just got off on Damon and hailed a cab.
yeah. At that
And then I
point,
missed
you got to
class
call
the
an
next
Uber.
day.
Like,
Yeah.
you have no choice.
Yeah.
All right. So last question. This might be the most important Chicago question. Favorite Chicago music venue?
Oh my god, don't do
That's
this.
a really hard one.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
I know what mine is, but I'll
We
let you guys
kinda-
start.
I enjoy.
might be a
empty
one for-
bottle is like the
Yeah,
that's, the
like-
most
That's my favorite.
legendary
Is the empty
one.
bottle.
Yeah, the empty
Yeah.
bottle's like just got a good. It's got a lot of tude, you know.
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. But like
It's
bigger,
like free Monday.
Favorite
at
big
the empty
venue for me
bottle.
is Talia Hall.
Yeah, that'd be the
Yeah.
bigger,
Empty Bottle is my
choice
favorite,
of
like kind of
bigger-
more local show place.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun playing at like Lincoln Hall.
Shuba's also though is like a really like smaller hall that just sounds phenomenal.
Yeah.
I would
Like
say the
Lincoln
Bottle and
Hall.
Talia, and it makes sense because they're linked up.
Yeah.
I think one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was like I just moved to Chicago, and Jason was in town for like the weekend, and I think it was Monday night. We went to the Empty Bottle and saw Touched by Ghoul. Do you know those guys?
Like, mm,
Touch
No,
on
but it must have been free, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
free show Monday night Empty Bottle, but it was
Monday
like
nights.
and yeah, it's just crazy packed in there, and the energy and just
Cheap,
Yeah.
cheap
Yeah,
drinks.
cheap.
Same with
Drinks.
Coles. It's like Coles on Friday and Saturday night.
oh yeah,
It's like it's packed no matter who's playing because that's just a spot like in Logan
The-
Square that everyone goes to.
The Bottle and like Coles are great examples of like Chicago divey bars. Like I don't really want to call them like dives, but they're
Empty Bottle's a divey
Little
bar for
divey,
sure.
yeah, and
There's
like,
a guy selling tamales
but
in the,
the
corner.
bartenders
like,
are like
yeah.
so nice. Everyone's
Yeah.
so nice there. Like
Yeah.
they'll like just be friendly as fuck. That's why Chicago's cool, man. 'Cause everyone's
Yeah.
friendly.
everyone is very friendly.
yeah.
and if you're friendly back, man, they like kind of show their appreciation.
Some of
Especially
these-
bartenders will like give you a shot. Or something.
Yeah. Some of these towns, like the dive bars, the bartenders they're tough.
Yeah.
Tough to
They've seen
crack.
some shit.
Miami last night. Woo! It's tough
Dang.
tough
Yeah.
to talk to.
Yeah, you got to be careful in Miami.
Yeah.
Always be careful in Miami.
Not that Miami's like super dangerous, but not Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a different town. I had such a good time last night.
Yeah, that was a
man.
good
Yeah, that's
So
what
many
I
cool
We met
people.
some really cool people last night.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, any final thoughts for the Cigar City Radio listeners, for the Tampa crowd? Anything else you want to say to Pete Toledo?
Just met you, man, but I love you, dude. Seriously, man. Are you kidding?
You've done so much for us, dude. Dude, I just can't thank you enough, dude.
All right, well, then this one's for Coach Pete. So here's your fade out. She Believes in the Devil by Send Medicine.
It's summertime weather. Rummage through a purse to find that love letter that she has written to the man with the plan. She has undressed for the man with the van. Do do do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Jan is indecent at the top of the stairs. The phantom looms at the county fair, and she is attracted to the phantom in you. She has undressed for the phantom too, and she believes in the devil genuinely. She believes in the devil. She believes in the devil genuinely. She believes in you and me. In you and me. Yeah, you and me. Hold me up, tie me down, tell me the price. Kinky, slippery people have hijacked the flight, and she gets slippery when the marigolds are in bloom. How much longer till I climb into your room? And she believes in the devil genuinely. She believes in the devil. She believes in the devil genuinely. She believes in you and me. Yeah, you and me. Yeah, you and me. She just got started. Look what can be done with her desire. She just got over her reputation to be kind. She just got started. Look what can be done with her desire. She just got over her reputation to be kind. Reputation to be kind to you. Genuine devil. Genuine devil blue.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
no
I'd like
one
to think
likes an
so.
asshole, especially not in Chicago.
Let me tell you about those leathery hands.